Hey, what's up, guys? So, I recently had a very interesting dream. I'm not gonna go much detail into the dream because that's not what the video is gonna be about. Rather, I'm gonna tell you one thing that did happen in the dream that turned it from being a complete nightmare into a nice fantasy. So, in the dream, something bad was happening. I was running away from something, definitely. Then all of a sudden, as I'm running away from something, the TARDIS, the TARDIS, the TARDIS materializes right in front of me. Now, obviously, I'm in awe of what's happening. Now, I wasn't exactly sure as to why the TARDIS materialized, so I just kind of saw it and I pushed it open and I closed behind me. And inside was Peter Capaldi's doctor. And he was like, "Hello, you appear to be running from something." I'm like, "Yeah. Can you whisk me away?" He's like, "I can take you back. Very far back." And then from there I kind of wake up. Now from there, I wake up and kind of just don't know what was happening until I wrote it down, of course. So I go back to sleep, and instead I kind of jump into a lucid kind of situation where I'm aware I'm dreaming, but I don't want to accept that I'm dreaming. So I'm in my bed. This dream I can tell you about. I'm in my bed, and then all of a sudden the TARDIS materializes again. Now I haven't really been thinking about Doctor Who per se. I mean, I have been fiddling around with the character creation sonic screwdriver, which I will make a review soon. Don't worry. But not really thinking about Peter Capaldi, nor Matt Smith, or David Tennant as their doctors. So, surprise, surprise, the TARDIS materializes right in front of me, and I kind of just wonder in awe. Now, somehow in the dream, subconsciously, I don't know what that is. So, as I'm there, just suddenly bursts open. The door bursts open. Yes, I get it! Sorry. Someone's back there trying to tell me to lower my voice. Anyway, so the door bursts open outwards, which at first is kind of suspicious. The TARDIS doesn't fly open outward. Oh wait, it does. It does. Never mind. No, wait, never mind. It opens inwards. It bursts outwards, and it's Peter Capaldi's doctor. My God, what's this? Now, it's just kind of there, and he looks at me like, "Hello." I'm like, "Hi." He's like, "Are you Jake?" I'm like, "Who would like to know?" "No discernible reason." Now, this dream is kind of like an idea. By the way, sorry if I make a pretty good impression of Peter Capaldi. I'm joking. I'm not obviously gonna make the best impression of Peter Capaldi. Anyway, he just kind of looks around my room, and my room is kind of a mess at the time. But the thing is that it has a tree. My room has a tree, and it doesn't. I never decorated this. This last year I didn't decorate anything for Christmas. But there's a tree, which is surprising. And I kind of just let him look around. Like, "Who are you?" He says, "I'm the doctor." Like, "Doctor what?" He's like, he just looks at me like, "It's who?" Like, "No, what? It's what?" Because usually you ask Doctor what? What proceeds out there? And he just looks at me like, "No, it's who?" And I'm kind of confused as to why he says who in the dream, but I just kind of go like, "Alright then, who?" And he says, "Just a doctor." I'm like, "We just went through all that struggle just for you to say just a doctor?" He's like, he just stops looking around. He just says, "Yes." And it goes back into the TARDIS. I'm like, wait a minute, who are you? And I just kind of walk in, and the shock that everyone that ever entered the TARDIS ever, of it being bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, kind of fills me in with like, what the shit? So I just look in, and then I kind of back out. I just kind of sit on my bed. The door closes. The TARDIS isn't dematerialized and flies away. It just kind of stays there. I'm like, what? So from there, I proceed to open my door, look around, making sure that no one's around, and I close it again. I lock the door. I kind of go back in. I'm like, what? Then I go back out. I go around. I kind of do like the whole, it can't be. And he's just kind of there on the console looking at me like, I know. And, well, I kind of just am in awe because of seeing the TARDIS. And it was the one with the red beam in the center. Well, obviously, it's going to be the one with the red beam. That's going to be the one with the blue beam. Anyway, I enter and everything. I look around. I feel the walls, the big light circle things. I forgot the name. You give some. I kind of inspect the whole thing. I inspect it all, and then I kind of just look at its direction. I'm like, it's smaller on the outside than it is on the inside. And then he just kind of looks at me like the same face he gave me when he was like, when I said, Doctor, what? He's like, you wouldn't be the first. And then he just kind of flips the lever and the doors close. I'm like, wait, what are you doing? He said, we're traveling. Traveling where? I started to get nervous, like not knowing what he meant. To travel where? He says, to the past. Like, to the past? What do you mean? This is like a time machine? He's like, yes, this is a time machine. I'm like, oh my god, it's a time machine. No, you can't be serious. He's like, yes, I am serious. And then he just flips back the same lever he flipped at first. And he says, check for yourself. Now, at this point, I'm in pajamas. So I just go out, open the door, and I see that it is... I didn't really know. I think it was 3 years or 4 years back from now. And it's familiar to me because I know where it was. It was a plaza, like a recreational center. And I look around, amazed and awe. I kind of just wonder, what? And then he just looks at me. Now I won't tell you this place was because of privacy reasons, but it's this place, 2012. Like, this is the year. Yeah, it is. This is the year I started thinking up my stories. He's like, yes, that is true. I'm like, what? And then I see myself over talking with someone. I won't say again who, but talking with someone. I'm like, well, that's me. He says, stop. Don't do what I think. Don't do what you think you're gonna do. I'm like, what am I gonna do? He says, what possibility are you gonna proceed to go over to them, or to yourself, and talk to them? I'm like, I kind of already know about the time travel thing. Like, you can't interact with your past unless it's like dire and it's like a time loop. He's like, oh, well, I did not realize you're an expert in time travel. Then I reply, I'm not an expert, rather I just know about the subject a lot. Very, very much so. Anyway, people talking. Anyway, it's kind of just pace around, looking around in the place, seeing people back then, than now. It's wow, I had traveled back in time. So I just kind of go back to him like, why are we here? Says, you need to look at yourself in the past. I'm looking away like that a lot. It's to give you the dramatic effect. So he just looks at me like, to learn your past. I'm like, what do I need to know about this era? This is nothing. Just remember it. Remember the day you started thinking about your books. So I kind of realized, wow, this is, he's right. I need to know where I got from before I start doing everything. Now, this kind of escalates. I think this kind of escalates over the overdue fact that I have been writing a lot lately, but it's not on my books. The books I'm gonna write and probably publish and eventually get famous for, hopefully. But yeah, that's kind of something. And I just look at him. I think I know what you mean. And he's like, good. Come on. Now I ask him, what is your role exactly? I'm the he first says, well, I'm first the ghost of Christmas past, now I'm going to be the ghost of Christmas present. And he presses some things on a keyboard inside of the TARDIS, and then he flips a lever. And then he just kind of goes like this. Like, weird. Last time he just went, tra, and then tra. But it took longer than how he did it. Then he goes, this is now. A day before. I'm like, now? A day before? I kind of start realizing it's Christmas. Slowly. When he said I'm the ghost of Christmas past thing. So I go out. And we're in front of my house. I'm like, but this is just in front of my house. It says, look again. So I get closer, and it's me having dinner with my mom. I'm like, well, of course. It's pretty typical. Bear in mind, my dad's bedridden. Anyway, kind of just having dinner and like being happy and like, hey, this was yesterday. Technically speaking, yesterday. He's like, yes. You weren't stressed. You were not stressed. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't. Huh. I was happy. Says, this is supposed to represent how you're supposed to take everything. Happily. You will get your job. But in due time. So I just look at him like, you have a point there. And he's like, come on. Now to look at the future. I at this point I'm like, yeah, man, let's see where this goes. See where this goes. If I follow him inside and then he just types in a few more like a little longer than last time, and then he does the lever flip again, except it goes, and then the thing does the thing, and then that one took longer. I'm like, where are we now? He just goes like, he gestures for me to go outside. Like, you're not even gonna say something? Just look, he says. I look outside. I go outside, and we're in an office. Like, we're in an office. This time he came out. Well, the other times he did come out, but this time he followed me basically. He says, "Yes." In New York. I realize it's New York because of the Empire State Building. It's pretty nearby, and it's an open window office. And I'm like, why are we in an office in New York? And he's like, you tell me. Like, I would never have an office in New York. Never ever. Have you seen the rates of things cost? Maybe I had an office in the future because in New York because like I had a lot of money or something. I'm not sure. I look around in the office and realize there's like a lot of art materials. There's like, it's a pretty big office for what it was. And it was open window. There was a MacBook, a Mac, Wacom Cintiq, I think it's called, the big tablets there, but like more modern and newer per se, like materials, and then another table with actual drawing materials, and another one with a typewriter. I wasn't sure why there was one with a typewriter, but regardless, it was there. They were there, and I kind of just look around. So this is my office. And he's like, yes, this is your office. And then it took me a while, but then I realized that the walls were very, very light purple. Sorry. They're very light purple. I'm like, yeah, this. Oh my god, sorry. This kind of looks like a color I'd paint in an office. As we were talking and like seeing, he goes to the main big desk and he kind of flips around a name tag thing. And it says my name. My full name. I'm like, huh. And then he kind of just goes back and leans on the TARDIS, looking around. And I kind of just look around. I just look around in the office. This sounds like a Doctor Who episode, doesn't it? Anyway, there's no enemies. It's kind of like that. Anyway, we just look around, and then the door opens, and it's me. I think I didn't really guess at first it was me, but I just look, and it's someone talking on the phone, and they were like, yes, yes, and some other stuff. And then he kind of just sits down and looks up, and he sees me, and I see him. He's like, oh, it's today. I'm like, what? At first I'm like that, and he's like, and then the doctor just goes, Jake, meet Jake. He goes to my future self and says, Jake, meet Jake. And then he goes, Jake, meet Jake. And then we're about to shake, and he's like, don't touch each other. I'm like, and my future self was like, right, paradox. I'm like, sorry? So, and then the doctor says, if you touch yourselves, you'll create a contingency. Paradox. I'm not going to go into much detail, he says. And I'm like, wow. So I look around again the office and then back at myself and say, why did we choose an office in New York? He says, I can't tell you that. You'll know. You'll know why. I'm like, I really don't know. And he says, it's not that you know, it's that you will know. I'm like, oh, time thing, of course. Right. That makes sense. So I kind of just proceed to like ask him a few more questions. Some are not answered, others are. Then the doctor just kind of goes, well, it's time to leave. And then he just walks me away. I say goodbye to my future self. My future self says goodbye to me. Then we kind of go back into the TARDIS. And we land back to exactly in my room where we were. He opens the door and says, Jake, you're destined for something greater. You're destined for something really great. It might not come tomorrow. It might not come the day after that. But it will get to you. And then I wake up. I look around. It's early morning. Actually, it was today. Early in the morning. And I kind of just am impressed. Wow, I had that dream. I dreamt that the doctor whisked me away to the future to meet myself. That is something, isn't it? Anyways, guys, I just thought I'd share this with you because I have a feeling 2017 is going to be something. It's going to be something. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give it a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Bye.